Greetings, YouTube. This is a village. Well, it was a village. This is Monson Village, which covers 280 acres, and it is on the Milford-Hollis line in the state of New Hampshire. I say it was a village because this is no longer a village. This is just forest area now. The village has ceased to exist. The buildings have collapsed. But you can go visit where those buildings were, and there's a system of trails for hiking in that area. And my wife went there recently and picked up this map while she was there, and she picked it up, used it, and she was going to recycle it. And I'm like, I saw this in the recycling, and I'm like, it's like, pile to go into the bin. I'm like, oh, I can use that for a video, because this right here could save a GM a lot of work. Any system could use this village. Whether you're doing fantasy, post-apocalyptic, science fiction, doesn't matter, modern. If you need a village map, there you go. And this is from Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests. The data provided in this map presents stock digital data from the NH Granite, that's with Granit, no E, and data obtained by the Forest Society staff. www.granite, again, no e.sr.unh.edu. This is in here, www.forestsociety.org, if you are looking for more information. So these kinds of maps will be available from all kinds of different forestry services out there. And this could save you a lot of work. And you could even use the borders to represent different things. For example, I have no idea why this particular area right where my finger is like that. But what if that's a walled compound of some variety? What if that's a keep? Is it an extent keep, still occupied? Is that the person that controls this village? Is that the the lord of the area? Instantaneously, you've already got the layout set up. So you can now figure out what's going on. You could use this on a tighter scale if you say you needed a refugee village. So it's not as big. It's only 28 acres. And those aren't buildings. They're shanty buildings, or the leftovers of a partly collapsed barn and things like that. So they're refugees after a war. And you could use that just like this. So that same map can be used for multiple purposes. Something I have done in a campaign that was, I actually used they were in this particular section of the game for months of game time. I think they might have been in it for like 4 or 5 months. And what I did is I took a map of Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire, and I said that the lake was the same size, but it was surrounded by stone walls. It was an underdark, large lake. And all the little trails and everything were tunnels that had gone through the stone, either purely natural, or natural ones that had been modified, or ones that had been carved purposely by other groups. And the player characters got themselves stuck in this underground, the Underdark, for quite a while until they find their way to the surface. When they found their way to the surface, they discovered that they were actually buried inside of a glacier. So they had to carve their way through about 40 feet of ice before they actually saw the surface. I made them fight for it. And they learned that one of the things they had to eat when they were down there were insects. Didn't go over well with most of the player characters. Though the one guy got a real taste for giant spiders. I had him make a saving throw every single time they tasted a really weird thing to see if A, they could do it, because not everybody can, and then also, did they like it? And he made a really good saving throw and just happened to really come to appreciate the taste of spider. Made me laugh. But I was able to use that map, and nobody in that group ever knew that I was using a map from the state they were gaming in. Because none of them knew what the shape of that lake was. They'd all been to the lake. But when you're looking at the lake, you're looking at what you can see. You're not on an aerial spot looking straight down at the lake and seeing it in its entire shape. So you have no idea what that is. So I didn't have to, really change much. I didn't have to try to fool them because nobody knows what the size of a lake really looks like. So that was really helpful. And there are some really funkily shaped lakes in the world. In the United States, and there's lakes all over the place of really great shapes. And so you could use any of those in a similar way. Or, of course, you could just use them as in territory. And if a modern thing would be camps as opposed to houses, or maybe they're manor houses if you want to do a little more advanced kind of a society. So they're, people have built homes along the lake shore for their vacations, or this is their main home. So you could use anything from any era in any way you want to do it. If it's just a map of the lake for where the fishing spots are, it's maybe a more of a natural environment. But if you have one that shows you where all the different houses in the modern era are, those could be houses from a medieval or a post-apocalyptic environment. Because a lake is a really great place to have a home, if for any reason, because it provides you with water and food and travel. It's much easier to get across a lake in a canoe or a kayak than it is to trek through the forest. It's much faster. And so you can use these types of maps very easily in your game. Now, this particular one, I may actually save it because I just kind of like it. It makes me smile when I look at it. And you could use, like, for example, this says the Dickerman Town Forest. Well, is that a reserve? You say, is that a reserve? Is that where the transition between the normal forest and it starts going into the verdant forest? So that's the zone where you may begin to encounter the real wild things as you're transitioning from the more civilized territories. It could be a relatively virgin forest, but that had been occupied for humanity for a while, so they're no longer considered verdant. Or they could even be second growth forests that had been cut down and now they're coming back. Because places have life cycles. In New England, we've got third growth forests in some places where people have moved in. They cut down the original primordial, verdant forests that were here. They had farms. All those farms succeed. The forest rolls back in again. Then somebody else moves in, knocks the forest back to discover, hey, there's all these walls there, which means the fields themselves have already been cleaned because the rocks have been removed. Let's get these stumps out of the way and we can start using the field again. So that could be the situation in, the Monson village. And you don't even have to change the name. Who in your group is going to know what the Monson village is? I know I'd never heard of it before, and if my wife hadn't gone there, I never would have. So a lot of this work can be done for you, so you can then concentrate on much more important and much more intriguing things than having to come up with the shape of a village and its name and the trails or roads and such that connect the different buildings. You're done. You can now move on to filling in these things with people and interesting places. This is where the blacksmith lives. That's where the inn is. That kind of thing. Because anything that can save you time and effort is a valuable resource, and this could be a valuable resource for you. And this is applicable anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world is going to have these kind of resources. Whether you're in Germany or in the United States, you're going to be able to find maps like this. Of course, the German maps might be a little more interesting because they've had a whole lot more human history of the Western variety than we have here. So that might be a little more intriguing. If my friend Jan sees this video, maybe he can tell me if he can access maps like this and if they are, in fact, a little more interesting, and it could because they have more history. So let's talk about finding cheap, easy resources that make things simpler for a GM who needs to come up with something quickly or even on the fly.